And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a steward of the wide open land, a partner to the wild and weary, someone who will live between the dust and the stars. So God made a cowboy. God said, I need somebody willing to rise before the sun, saddle a horse by lantern light, ride fence lines till his back aches, doctor sick calves in the freezing rain, then roll out his bedroll under the same cold sky and do it all again tomorrow. So God made a cowboy. I need somebody strong enough to wrestle a yearling to the ground and gentle enough to calm a spook colt with nothing but a whisper and a steady hand. Someone who can throw a loop that finds its mark at a full gallop, mend barbed wire with leather gloves worn thin, come home bone-tired and hungry, yet still kiss his wife like it's their first night, and tell his children stories of the trail under a blanket of stars, and mean every word. So God made a cowboy. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a colicky mare, watch her fight for life, then dry his eyes at dawn, bury his sorrow, and still ride out to check the herd because the work doesn't wait on grief. I need somebody who can patch a saddle with rawhide and baling wire, read the weather and the clouds and the wind like an old friend, who will push cattle through blizzards and drought and still tip his hat to a stranger on the road. So God made a cowboy. God had to have somebody willing to race ahead of a thunderstorm to get the herd to safety, yet stop dead in the middle of a drive when he hears a neighbor's call for help. Somebody tough enough to brand and castrate and doctor and cull, yet tender enough to bottle feed an orphan calf at 2 a.m. and carry a tired kid on his shoulders after a long day in the saddle. So God made a cowboy. God said, I need somebody who will ride deep and straight and never cut corners, somebody to rope and ride and brand and doctor and hay and mend and pray, somebody who will finish a brutal week on the range, dust still caked on his face, and drive to town for church on Sunday morning, hat in hand, boots polished, heart open. Somebody strong enough to break a bronc, yet soft enough to break bread with family and faith. So God made a cowboy. It had to be somebody who would hold a family together with calloused hands and quiet love, who would stand on the porch at dusk, look out over land he doesn't own but would die to protect, and feel the weight of generations behind him and the hope of generations ahead. Somebody who would laugh at the absurdity of it all, sigh at endless work, and still answer with smiling eyes when his son says he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a cowboy. A man of grit forged in dust and storm, of love deep as the prairie sky, of faith as steady as the North Star, and of determination that outlasts every hardship the good Lord sends his way, because the world needs those who ride not just for profit, but for the land, for the animals, for their people, and for the quiet glory of a life lived true. And the cowboy will tell you he didn't choose this life, and the one who made it chose him.